Hey, friend. Welcome back to Release Your Inner Power with Ignited Decisions and me, Shauna B. We are in season 3, in the middle of the first phase of this journey, and this phase is all about slowing down and checking in. Today's topic is one that hits home for most of us, is how in the world do you create space in a jam-packed schedule? If you're like me, your calendar sometimes looks like a toddler scribbled all over it and colors everywhere. Appointments here, meetings there, errands that you have to squeeze in between. And don't even get me started on the extras like, oh, there's birthdays and what are we making for dinner? And hurry up and sign this permission slip for this field trip or something else in school right before they leave to go out the door, right? But guess what? You can create space even when it feels totally impossible. And that space is where the magic happens. It's where you breathe, where you reset and actually go to enjoy your life instead of sprinting around and jumping from one thing to the other. This is a power move, not only for you, but also for the ones that you interact with around you. So, I wanted to share a time because life happens, right? A couple months ago, I had one of those weeks, the kind where you feel like you're just on a hamster wheel and that hamster wheel has really picked up speed and you just have to get through the week. You just have to get through the week, right? My schedule was so full in between coaching calls, recording podcasts, my kids needing rides, and keeping up with, I don't know, house and dinner. I was at the point where I was eating either standing up or while folding laundry, multitasking all over the place, except I was tired. I was cranky. I didn't want to. And not even enjoying the things that I normally can sit and enjoy and take in. And one night I sat down at the kitchen table with my planner and I just stared at it for a second. I just took it in for a second because honestly, I was frustrated. I felt stuck. I felt like there was too much. And every single thing on that page in that planner felt like a non-negotiable, like I couldn't do anything with that. And then I heard my dragon say, or my inner critic say, there's no room. There's not enough hours in the day for all of this. But that night, I made one teeny little choice, one small choice to do something different to start the shift, to start the change. I crossed out one thing, just one. It was a Zoom meeting that I had said yes to, but I didn't really need to be there. And then that hour felt like a gift. And instead, I went for a walk. And I cannot even tell you how good it felt just to be outside, have the cool air on my face. It reminded me that sometimes the space is there. We just have to claim it, right? Stop stretching so thin and claim the space. So let's talk about how you can start creating that space in your jam-packed schedule. I'm going to give you a couple things here. So start with the little teeny moments, the micro moments, right? People think that sometimes creating space means carving out like this whole free afternoon or hours and hours of time or a whole weekend. Nope, 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 nope. Sometimes it's just 5 minutes of quiet before you check your email or do the dishes. Or maybe it's choosing to sit in the car for just 2 more minutes before you walk in, either to the grocery store or your house. Maybe just taking a couple breaths outside on your front porch. Tiny resets matter. Okay? Audit your yeses. A lot of our jam-packed schedules come from saying yes when it really means no. Okay, but here's the trick to use. If the thought of doing it makes you instantly kind of like, hesitate, maybe you're clenching your jaw, that's a no. That's a no. Protecting your energy is how you create that space. A third one is build in what I call your buffers. Okay, so stop scheduling yourself like back to back to back to back. Even if you can only give yourself 10 minutes in between things, that space helps you in the transition where you don't feel so much like a ping pong ball. It brings it down a couple notches, right? Where you can breathe and actually show up and be there for the next thing. Okay. Using it for you to do that, to come down, transition, breathe, and be present for the next thing. Don't use that 10 minutes in between things for, a cushion for like the next call or to prep for this. Like, take the minutes of nothing, even if it's just to breathe, you know? Another one is to let's trade something. Let's trade perfection. I'm laughing because it's probably easier said than done. Trade perfection for presence. So sometimes we fill our schedules with the shoulds. We should be doing this. We should be doing that. Should. I should make a home cooked meal every night. I should sign up for, that committee that's helping my kids out in the classroom for blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. You don't need to do everything at 100% because that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot, right? Sometimes the space that is created is by letting the good enough be good enough. You know, maybe you were the maybe you were the chaperone for the field trip, earlier this year. It's okay to skip the next one if need be, right? Letting go of the shoulds, that not only frees up your time, but it also frees up that mind chatter, where your dragon comes in and says all the things and like talking to you. It will free that up and it gets some of the weight off of your back. But that requires you to give yourself permission to trade perfection for being present, right? Another one is putting you on the calendar first. This one was huge for me. It was huge for me and it took a minute. And I do this now each month. So it is a priority for me to do this because if you wait to see if there's like time left over for yourself, there won't be. There will not be any time. How many times have you gone into a month where you're like, oh, this month is going to be chill? And then you start the month and you relook at your calendar and you're like, what happened to the chill month? Now there's all this stuff to do, right? Start putting the time in the month for you as like a scheduled time in the month, right? Maybe it's your workouts, maybe it's your walks, maybe it's your journaling, or even 5 minutes of not doing anything. I want to do 5 minutes of not doing anything on Tuesday. Put it in there, put it on your calendar, but do that first and then fill in all the other things because it will rearrange around it to fill it up, right? Then you're not waiting for the time. The time is there first and your schedule goes around it. This small tweak makes such a huge difference. And it made a huge, huge world of difference in my world. And trust, try, and see what you think, okay? Now, here's what I want you to take away from our time together today because space isn't something that you find, it's something that you make. Even in the busiest season, time, week, day, you can create small little moments that are just for you. So think about what it would feel like this week if you just had, I don't know, 30 minutes to yourself. And if you're like, whoa, I don't know, 30 minutes. Okay, we'll take 10. Let's try 10. Imagine 10 minutes. Maybe it's walking, walking into your day, not like rush to the car, like you're taking your time, walking to your car, right? What does that look like? What does that 10 minutes of you look like? Not rushed. Don't resent it or guilt or any of that stuff with it, right? But being ready and being okay with that 10 minutes or 30. minutes. It starts with one little decision, one little choice to add that and shift that into your day. Okay. So your challenge this week is simple. Look at your calendar and claim that space, that one piece of space in your week. Cross off maybe one thing that's not really for you that you may have said yes to, but it really means no. Or block out 15 minutes just for yourself, guilt free. Okay. And then notice when you make this small shift, how you feel at the end of the week. Maybe it's at the end of the day, however you want to do it. But take a second to check in and be like, hey, how did that work for me? How did that feel for me? Because, friend, you deserve breathing room. You deserve happiness in the middle of this lifing of the chaos over here. And you're more powerful than you think when it comes to creating that space. So, thank you for hanging out with me today. If this episode spoke to you, share it with a friend who's also running around with a jam-packed schedule, because trust me, she may need this little reminder too. Until next time, slow down, check in, and remember, you're not just surviving your schedule, you're creating your life, a life that you love and want to live right now. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, learned something new, or got some gems to take away that will boost your week. I release a new episode each week, so make sure to click that follow button to not miss what is coming next. If you love the show or want to share a story, send me a quick message. I love hearing from listeners. If you know someone who needs this episode in their life, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they would love you for it. If you are looking to connect more, check out the show notes for all the social links, my website. I would love to hear how this episode helped you and what you loved about it. If there's a topic you want to hear about, send that too. All right, ladies, now is the time to release your inner power. Are you feeling like you're behind or something's off, or you've tried to do something new and you just can't get on that wagon? You just keep falling off? Guess what? You're human and life doesn't follow a perfect timeline. Maybe the year didn't start the way that you hoped. Maybe your goals got buried under real life stuff. But here's the truth. You're allowed to begin again anytime you want, whether it's July, September, December, January. Progress doesn't have a deadline. That's why now is the perfect time to join Empower Her. We meet you where you are, help you build momentum, and remind you that you don't have to do this alone. There's still so much time left. Let's make it count together.